of bass in every lake that behave differently at certain times of the year. For example, you may have, say we're talking about February fish and pre-spawn. You may have some bass that begin to move shallow and they start to get up on some channel banks or steep banks or secondary points in preparation for moving shallow to spawn. And then at the same time that you have those fish that move up in 2 to 3 foot of water, looking for crawdads, moving up shallow, you'll still have fish out suspended in the middle of the lake if the lake is clear enough. And then you've got some fish that are in the mid depths. You have a lot of different fish that do different things at different times because they all just don't move up and do one thing at one time. So that's one of the deals you have to remember, is that when you're talking about bass movement, behavior, and seasonal patterns, it's a very, very it's a broad stroke in terms of you can't just say this fits everything. And it would be nice if you could do that. It'd be nice if you could just say all the bass do this at this time under this situation, but it doesn't work that way. I have been in situations where, like I said, I've been catching fish on a crankbait in 2 foot of water in the month of March, and then I talked to a buddy of mine that catches them over 60 foot of water that are suspended 20 foot down. That's just the reality of how bass move. But given that, you have to start somewhere. And I want to sort of run you through a little bit about what you need to look for early spring fishing in a live scope situation. Guys, that you can't equate anything about bass fishing the way that I teach it to live scope fishing. Those fish are open water fish. They need to be protected out there. They've been protected out there since the dawn of lakes being built, and they're deep water sanctuaries. And I don't want to even know about those fish out there. I want them to be able to have that place to hide and get away from it. I want to target on the fish that you catch with traditional bass fishing techniques, which I feel, guys, if you stick to that and you stick to traditional techniques without getting an over-reliance on electronic technology, that your overall bass fishing experience is going to be much more rewarding in the long term, which we talked about a lot on that. Okay, this is what some things you need to look for in terms of early spring bass fishing. And I want to just keep it to man-made lakes here that don't have grass in it. I mean, every time we talk about techniques and patterns, you can't cover everything, because some of you guys fish tidal rivers, some of you guys fish Florida, some of you guys your lakes are frozen over until April, some of you guys are desert lakes. But let's just try to keep it to man-made reservoirs, because you can apply parts of that to about anywhere you fish. Okay, here's the progression that you have from January to February and into March into the pre-spawn. In January,